Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Nexus Gaming Series. I am Jay-Zon. We've got an epic matchup here for you today, the B West Division Finals. Winner of this match is going to go on to the B Division Finals on Sunday, and I'm joined today by 7th Ace. How are you doing tonight, man? Thanks for joining me.
I'm doing pretty good. Excited to see this matchup, and hope you're having a good evening yourself, Jay-Zon.
Oh yeah, always a good evening here in the Nexus. And we are gonna see a clash of titans here. The long-time team composition here from Drop Dead Gorgeous, one of the longest-standing rosters in NGS, and A-MEI-ZING, who has been the top of the B West division for the entire season. What are you looking forward to in this matchup here, Ace?
Well, I want to see a couple of the weaknesses of A-MEI-ZING exploited by the team of Drop Dead Gorgeous. And I want to see, obviously, some really competitive games drawn out to the very end, win or lose for either side. And we're looking forward to seeing how they do that.
Yep, and we got everybody in lobby. Just want to make sure both of these teams are ready to go as we head on in for the game number 1, which is going to be on Infernal Shrines. We'll quickly go over the coin toss and the map picks here for you guys. The coin toss was won by Drop Dead Gorgeous. Bahamut, thank you very much for the host. I appreciate it, my friend. And actually, we'll hold off on that just for a second because everybody is ready. And we are going to go on into the first map, Infernal Shrines, to start off this best of 3 series. A-MEI-ZING versus Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Alright, this is a part where we see if Drop Dead Gorgeous has done their homework, what they bring to this draft. I believe that's the best place to attack it and try and defeat the massive titan that is A-MEI-ZING, so we'll have to see what their drafting strategy ends up being. Alex ban, that is exactly what I've seen to be useful. And I like the start from DDG.
Yep, and of course, very good on this map. Let me quickly finish up with those map bans, though. We did have Volskaya Foundry banned out by Drop Dead Gorgeous, Braxis Holdout banned out by A-MEI-ZING, and Infernal Shrines was then picked, actually by A-MEI-ZING. Drop Dead Gorgeous winning the toss and electing to go with the first pick, first ban, allowing A-MEI-ZING to have the first map pick, so... we do see the Alex Straza banned out, which is not a big surprise. We've seen Lightnex on this hero a lot recently in the playoffs in particular. He's been very strong on the Alex Straza, and a very good map pick here too. Having that Dragon Queen cooldown to be able to pop for these shrine fights can be very influential in getting the map objective here.
Well, that's an interesting ban there from A-MEI-ZING as their go-to support in the quarterfinals or the division semifinals. The previous round was Malfurion, so they banned out their second support of choice, and Maiev has been picked up for the side of Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Yeah, very interesting indeed. Not only in banning out the support that they have used so often, but also letting the Maiev through. So now Drop Dead Gorgeous going to get arguably one of the strongest heroes in the Nexus currently with this Maiev. A lot of great displacement, a lot of good AoE damage, and we will see, though, the Li Ming and the Stukov in return. So it seems like A-MEI-ZING had a plan here for this map. They get the Stukov in those silence and cutoff areas, and of course they're going to get Li Ming for Lasai.
Yeah, Lasai did some work on Li Ming last I saw them. Personally, I felt it firsthand, but definitely a very solid pick. One of their go-tos. I think Li Ming's been taken in like 2/3 of their games. It's a huge number of games that Lasai has been playing. I think he's almost exclusively played Li Ming, Hanzo, and Genji this entire season. Very, very skilled.
Exactly, and you know, you mentioned that tasting it in person. That was our one rule when we were playing against A-MEI-ZING in that last game, is that we were not going to give Li Ming to Lasai, but we do end up seeing 2 more picks coming in here for Drop Dead Gorgeous. The question is, what do they want to pair with that Maiev? Typically, we see a lot of wombo combo style to pair with that Warden's Cage. And we will see the Diablo coming out with Apocalypse, the aptly phrased Hell in a Cell.
I'm excited to call that combo when it happens. Got an interaction question for you, Jason.
Yes.
Does the Diablo charge cause a stun if it hits the edge of a warden's cage?
I don't know. You would think it would. But yeah, that's the question, is would it stun them and knock them back, or would it even matter because the knockback and the stun is about the same duration? It's going to knock them, it should knock them back to the middle, but, you know, how much damage is it going to deal? That's very interesting. I actually am not sure.
Yeah, I'll have to see if we can answer that question by the end of that. Also, a rework Sonya picked up on the side of DDG. Do you have any experience with Sonya since the rework?
God, yes. Just this last game I played, actually, before we went in here, the Sonya, it takes away a little bit of her flexibility, but it makes her a monster in the solo lane. So much extra sustain, so much extra ability to self-heal, and to just really dominate in the 1v1. She is still susceptible to being rotated on and ganked in lane, but you know, basically if there are any minions around, it's a lot like before, where she's very hard to contest in lane, and except that she deals a lot more damage in that solo lane now. It's very scary.
Yeah, as if Sonya needed to be any better in the soul lane, but nonetheless, she is increasingly powerful. Taking a look at the second half bans, we have Gul'dan banned out by A-MEI-ZING, and Tyrael banned out by Drop Dead Gorgeous. So a good wave clear ban. That's definitely what DDG needs to pick up here in the next in their next rotation, and Gul'dan is definitely one of the best.
Yeah, very strong on the shrines. Tyrael, though, also has been a real terror in the Nexus since his rework, so not surprised to see him banned out and denied from A-MEI-ZING. That is a hero that they do tend to favor. So now the question is, where will they go with that frontline tank choice? They will go to the Blaze and the Arthas, so Fire and Frost leading the charge here for A-MEI-ZING on Infernal Shrines.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of Tyrael Blaze combos throughout the Nexus and even into HGC, and that's been one of the most popular combos. But Arthas and Blaze can do a lot of some of the similar functions. Obviously not quite as powerful, but still definitely very bulky front lines, and a lot of control can be afforded to A-MEI-ZING, especially in those enclosed spaces on the shrines.
Yeah, you lose a little bit of team sustainability when you exchange the Arthas for the Tyrael, but you gain a lot of CC in response. So, it's very good at shutting down the Sonya in that front line as well. She has a hard enough time sticking on people as it is, but if she's slowed, it can be very difficult. So I'm not surprised to see the Arthas coming out here. I like the pick against the front line that Drop Dead has right now.
Yep, and we'll see what Drop Dead Gorgeous is going to pick up for the wave clear in their support. We have Uther picked up, and Kael'thas picked up. I particularly like the Kael'thas pickup here on Infernal Shrines.
Loving the Kael'thas pick, and this is very good because it does generally counter what A-MEI-ZING is trying to do in the support game with Stukov. You do want to be able to get those healing pathogens spread out, but you have to get close to the enemy team. You have to get close to your team members, which can be tough for spreading those bombs from Kael'thas. So wouldn't be surprised to see a very heavy bomb build coming out here over on the side of Drop Dead Gorgeous. But also, you know, we've seen some convection on this map for the wave clear potential, but convection is falling off more and more as we see more teams going towards that Mana Addict Globe style.
I honestly would not be disappointed to see convection here. Now, I, as part of the School of Gunny, has been taught that convection is a fun talent to use, despite what some may say, but they don't have... The side of A-MEI-ZING does not have a lot of mobility, and not the greatest engage power, especially without Tyrael. So if Kael'thas plays safe, I think he can be able to stack that up against the immobile heroes of Arthas and Blaze and possibly be able to take it. But Thrall picked up as a very, very powerful last pick for A-MEI-ZING.
Yeah, even more CC on the front line. We've seen a lot of Crash Lightning coming out from Thralls recently. That build being very strong and stacking very hard into the late game as well. So very, very hard N-Gage comp here from A-MEI-ZING. They're going to be looking with this heavy frontline melee to really charge in and control these points. But the question is, have they played a little bit too much into the Kael'thas here, where you have the heavy melee frontline, a lot of opportunities to spread those bombs and get that AoE damage out. And, you know, the Stukov has one big heal with the bio kill switch, but after that, it's going to start waning a little bit as Kael'thas continues to throw out those bombs and those flame strikes.
Yeah, and don't forget, all those heroes want to be on top of each other, so Maiev might get some great fan of knives off.
All right, so we are loading into game number 1 already. No potatoes here, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to see on the left, it is A-MEI-ZING. We're going to see Lightnex on the Stukov. Lasai is going to be on the Li-Ming. Hayes is going to be on the Arthas. Kazin on the Blaze. And we're going to see Machiavelli on the Thrall.
The battle begins.
And over on the right side of their home turf here, we do have Drop Dead Gorgeous, Pugs Not Drugs on Maiev, Trent on Sonya, Kael'thas played by Chaos, Gelda on Diablo, and Unitas on Uther.
Right away to start off these B West finals, winner will be going on to the B Division finals against Order of the Sleeping Dragon. Should be quite a matchup no matter who ends up going into that matchup on Sunday. But both teams go into the mid, but looks like they're just waiting for the wave clear opportunity here.
Yep, and we don't see the convection picked up. I am a sad panda, but that's alright. Chaos will be able to play much safer once the late game rolls out. We do have Thrall in the 4-man group and Blaze going off to Soul Lane against the Sonya, so Thrall will be able to help stack up that Crashing Lightning against a 4-man, and he'll be able to disrupt the rotation, so I like that call.
Yeah, pretty big rotation comp here in general from both teams, but in particular seeing Drop Dead Gorgeous both with the Mana Addict here for Chaos wanting to get those globes, but also in general Diablo wanting to get those souls stacked up early in this one. So imperative for Drop Dead Gorgeous to have these clean rotations and get as much minion and globe pressure as they can here.
Yep, and A-MEI-ZING already starting off with their B-West trademark, their heavy, and very powerful macro play. And they're going to come in and invade on here. Diablo does a nice peel. Hayes gets pushed out from the dive onto Kael'thas, and nothing really comes of it. Maybe Gelda does go down, and that'll be first blood. Maiev gets in a little bit of trouble, flips out, does not step on the coals, and does walk out alive.
Yeah, Pugs Not Drugs showing off the power of Maiev and the ability to dodge a lot of that damage. But we do end up seeing Diablo stepping out a little bit too far. Nice job by Hayes getting in there with the slowing pressure, able to slow him down and really force him to not be able to rotate out in time. Nice pick and first blood going over to A-MEI-ZING in this one.
And that'll give him that a half-level lead, getting to those level 4s just a little bit sooner and disrupting the rotational synergy that Drop Dead Gorgeous was picking up. So they're going to now move down to the bottom camp, pick up that siege camp, and we'll probably see them go after the Bruisers very soon, as the objective is set to spawn in just about 30 seconds.
You see Drop Dead Gorgeous going after their camp here. We are going to see the Shrine in the bottom lane activating, so this is a nice camp timing for Drop Dead Gorgeous. Going to force A-MEI-ZING to either answer to the Shaman camp or have to let it push in the top lane. And as we know, these Shaman camps, very powerful. Though it does look like A-MEI-ZING will have time and opportunity to pick up theirs as well. Will be timed to be just a little bit later, allowing that to push in a little bit more. But it could give the side of Drop Dead Gorgeous the advantage in the Shrine early.
Yeah, absolutely. Drop Dead Gorgeous is already in a good spot to set up on the Shrine and get a couple minions cleared out. They'll probably get about one and a half waves of skeletal minions out. That'll give them a nice advantage coming into the first Shrine section.
So we do have both of those camps in the top. Should be a little bit of an advantage for A-MEI-ZING. They do end up pushing in here and starting to catch up a little bit, but the bombs already being spread here early, 7.
Yeah, the bombs are going to be a real problem, especially with the relative lack of mobility that all these characters have. Maev's going to go ahead and tether in Kazin. He's going to get jumped on by Gelda. Kazin's taking a lot of damage as well as Gelda. Zelda's gonna drop. No, he stays up, and instead Machiavelli goes down. Hayes, who drops down to almost no health, he goes down as well, and that's 2 picks over to the side of Drop Dead Gorgeous as they'll take the first Punisher.
That's a big win for Drop Dead Gorgeous, and I was actually very concerned in the middle of that team fight because I saw them drop a lot of their high damage and cooldowns into the Blaze to start, and that's not really the priority target you want, but they were able to refocus, get the 2 picks, and most importantly, they didn't let anybody die and allow Lasai to pop off with those resets.
Yeah, that's the really important part, especially as these team fights will drag on. Lasai getting those resets is going to be a huge part of this game. Hugs goes in with the teleport, is going to be pulled back with that trait. So they'll, looks like Drop Dead Gorgeous will pick up this fort and be satisfied with that, it looks like, as Punisher goes down.
That's going to be an early level lead as well for Drop Dead Gorgeous, as we do see them clearing out of bot lane here. They've gotten what they want. Trent, of course, split pushing in the top, as we do see the solo laners kind of double soaking for the moment, as both teams try and head in towards these level 10s.
Yep. Looking at we do have Burn Flesh picked up for Kael'thas. It is not a bomb build necessarily. It's just a defensive, more of a defensive style of Kael'thas Flame Strike build. So not going to be seeing the crazy, ridiculous high damage bomb spread in the late game, but instead looking for those value percent-based Qs, and they do have a lot of percent-based damage with Diablo.
Not only that, but a couple of tanks on the other side, so if he's constantly getting those Qs out onto Blaze and Arthas, that can be very influential in these team fights of chunking down these tanks and making it a little bit more dangerous for them to try and go after the priority targets of Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Yep, and the funneling effect of the aggression that A-MEI-ZING has to put out will funnel them through some of these shrine choke points. And so, as we saw in that previous fight, even though Gelda got very, very low, he was able to be bursted up by Uther, and A-MEI-ZING ended up falling to the area damage. So, going to be a very interesting positional battle on the shrines as level 10s are now picked up for the side of DDG.
Yeah, about a level away for A-MEI-ZING. They should still have time to be able to pick this up in time to be able to contest this next shrine. We do see them going in on Kazin, though. Gelda charges in, still has the ability to overpower, but they've got him body blocked away. The stun is going to come out, but it's too little too late, as level 10 advantage gained here by Drop Dead Gorgeous, and they use it to get themselves a pick off here in the top lane.
Yeah, that was a great rotation up to the top lane, and a beautiful, beautiful body block there by Gelda. Did not have to burn the overpower, and instead just body block Blaze in and pretty much caused his instant demise. So, fantastic rotation there.
A little bit more XP for Drop Dead Gorgeous. They're going to be looking to once again grab their camp, which will be pushing again in the top lane. Which, again, we have the Punisher, the Shrine spawning in the mid lane this time. So once again, these Shaman camps are going to be a factor. The level 10s are in here. Let's quickly take a look at these heroics for the side of Drop Dead Gorgeous. It is going to be the Warden's Cage, Wrath of the Berserker. It's going to be Pyro Blast.
Oh my gosh, it's Pyro.
Along with
Pyro and Hell in a Cell. I'm so excited.
Apocalypse and Divine Shield are amazing. They are going to go with the Flailing Swipe, Army of the Dead, Drop Bunker. It's going to be the Wave of Force and the Sundering. So looking for some disengage tools, some defensive tools for A-MEI-ZING to try and deny this Hell in a Cell Wombo combo. But we do see now both teams level 10. They're going to be looking to grab this shrine.
This is going to be so interesting. Gelda's going in, getting slowed by that Stukov Parasite. Ends up getting engaged on by Kazin, but no real follow-up. Here comes the dive. Diablo in a lot of trouble. Huge Q by Chaos. Ends up dropping Haze, or Lightneck, that is. However, Diablo goes down, gets his souls reset. Blaze picked off as a counter kill. Stukov Lurking Arm doing a lot of work. Haze very low, gets taken out by a Q. Maev goes down, and it's becoming a bloodbath in here. 2 players down on each side, but Diablo's coming back.
Yeah, we do see Chaos throwing that Pyro Blast, but Lasai comes back with a huge amount of damage. Trent, though, taking advantage of the fact that Lasai completely out of mana. And the side of Drop Dead Gorgeous didn't get really any damage onto Lasai that whole time. but they do end up being able to come back with a vengeance here. Trent comes in with that Wrath of Berserker. They are definitely going to be able to pick up this shrine. It's only a matter of time. They stall it out a little bit as Trent is going to rotate to clean up the Shaman camp, which this time around had swung into the favor of A-MEI-ZING, and actually cleans up the top fort here, Ace.
That's a big play. It's definitely worth it on the side of DDG to give up that. If you had to give up that top fort for this Punisher and all those kills, I'm down with it. But nonetheless, a good quality pickup there for A-MEI-ZING, as they'll defend this Punisher with only a front wall as a loss. That's a really good defense there at level 13.
Yeah, a front wall for an entire fort in the top lane. I will take that, especially because there's a chance the shrine could end up spawning in the top, which would be, you know, the RNG gods are really going to decide a pretty big factor in the rest of this match here, because whether it's top or bottom, one team is going to have the advantage of the fort and the well, and the other team is not. We do see the N-Gage coming in, though. Bunker will be popped by Kazin as the CC comes out. Hayes getting a little bit low on the front line, has a lot of survivability, though. We do end up seeing Lasai get taken out, though. Pugs Not Drugs diving in deep. The kill is in response, but without Li Ming, there are no resets. We end up getting the Pyroblast kill and some huge bombs going off. And that is going to be a 4-for-1 exchange. Drop Dead Gorgeous coming out to play here tonight.
They are bringing the team fight to A-MEI-ZING. They're positioning properly. They're doing everything they need to get all the damage they need onto every member. There's no way that Stukov is able to keep up with this amount of damage if they continually get hit by multi-man flame strikes and pyroblast. Multi-man pyroblast, Jason.
Yeah, you simply cannot fight a Kael'thas in the chokehold, and that's exactly what A-MEI-ZING did that time around. A rare misstep, as we do see all 6 of these spear throwers stacked in the mid. They pick up the fort. They're going to get a little bit of damage on the keep front wall. Some minion stacking in the top, but we talked about the RNG gods. And the RNG gods here favoring A-MEI-ZING, as they're going to put that shrine up in the top lane next. And that's going to allow A-MEI-ZING to have that fort and that well for this next phase.
Yep, that should favor him, but what's going to favor DDG a little bit more is having the level 16 advantage that they'll be picking up here in about 30-45 seconds here. And I want to also mention none of the quests from the early game are done for A-MEI-ZING, and almost all of them are complete for Drop Dead Gorgeous, so that power spike is going to be even further on the side of DDG, and A-MEI-ZING's going to have to do a lot of good work to try and catch up from this.
A lot of work for them to be able to try to come back here. You're totally right about that. And at the end of the day, we'll have to see exactly when the shrine spawns. There it is. So definitely no chance for A-MEI-ZING to get these 16s. And I don't know, this is starting to look a little bit grim for the side of A-MEI-ZING here in game number 1.
Yeah, the advantage, as you said, with the RNG, it is spawning up here in the top lane. And so, even though it's not optimal, I think A-MEI-ZING could give up this Punisher, sack off their top fort, and still be in a reasonable position to try and come back. But that does not seem to be what they're going to do. They're going to push out these waves, and it looks like they want to make a 5-man push onto this shrine. Or not.
Yeah, it would be a very risky call here for A-MEI-ZING, and they are, you know, they are kind of masters of the macro game. You know, they always make smart macro decisions, and fighting down the 16 talent tier is not what I would describe as a smart macro decision. 16, you know, aside from the level 10 and level 20 talents, 16 probably the next most powerful spike for most team compositions.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. I like the choice here by DDG now to halt the shrine at 39 and then go and bring some counter pressure around the map. The only thing that doesn't really work out well with this is that they're not capturing the Punisher while up a talent tier. And it looks like A-MEI-ZING will be close, if not to level 16, by the time the Punisher's threatening a keep.
Yeah, could allow for the defense, but as you said, they will have the macro pressure in other lanes, and they're able to pick off Kazin as well. They find a Blaze rotating out towards that top lane, and a huge capitalization there by Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Yeah, Blaze tried to charge away, but Maev said, get back over here, tethered him in, and yanked him by his neck down. And he was taken out by the rest of Drop Dead Gorgeous. Really well done, and that's going to give a nice 5v4 advantage to DDG, who's now breaking down the bottom wall.
We'll see the Punisher jumping over the wall. Sidewall had been taken there so that Drop Dead Gorgeous couldn't engage if they wanted. Couldn't find a good angle off of that Punisher jump. But look at Gelda and Bugs going in here, looking to follow up the Punisher on this next jump. He is going to jump onto Kazin, but instead the members of Drop Dead Gorgeous just going to get their prize. They're going to get the keep, and they're going to back off here as the level 16s are in for A-MEI-ZING.
Just a really, really calm and collected play right there by DDG. Going to take their advantage in the top keep, and now they'll have that macro pressure, and they're going to go ahead and invade this siege camp and continue countering the macro heavy style of A-MEI-ZING.
And they do also now have the double flame strike for Kael'thas, even more damage onto structures, even more scary for these frontliners with that percentage-based damage. And look at A-MEI-ZING. They are looking to maybe catch somebody out here, not showing where they are, looking to see if Drop Dead Gorgeous makes a sloppy rotation. But they are waiting. They're waiting to see where A-MEI-ZING is going here. Very smart macro play coming out here from Drop Dead Gorgeous once again.
I'm actually really impressed by that play, because I know personally, up 2 levels and 7 kills, I would be out for blood trying to grab every camp, and they just sat on their own fort and waited. They did a great patient play, and they're going to clean up the siege camp as if it's nothing. And they're just going to wait for the next team fight, hopefully for them for level 20. And what can A-MEI-ZING do? They can't get 20 before the next Punisher, so great play, great play.
Drop Dead Gorgeous playing the long game, being very patient. And you know, there's an old adage that I used to hear a lot from Dreadnought is you take a look at how many different ways you can lose this game, and you know, giving A-MEI-ZING the team fights that they want on the same talent tier, contesting these camps that you don't really need to win the game when all you really need is 20 and this next Punisher in the bot lane to possibly get you another fort. They're just not allowing A-MEI-ZING to come back in this game. They're choking them out and not giving them the opportunities.
Yeah, this is very reminiscent of the game A-MEI-ZING lost on Braxis earlier in the quarterfinals, where essentially the team against them, whether it's DDG here or Lurk Patrol then, would just gobble up all the camps, not let A-MEI-ZING have any real map presence, and then only take advantageous fights. And that's obviously the fundamental parts of Heroes, but it's being executed very well here by DDG.
Yeah, it's one thing for that to be your main game plan. It's another thing to execute it this flawlessly. We do also see Drop Dead Gorgeous stalling out this camp. They want to see it taken at the last second so that A-MEI-ZING doesn't have the opportunity to clear it up. They want the pressure in top and the shrine in bot. Level 20, still about half a level away though. I will say for Drop Dead Gorgeous, they're not in a huge hurry to try and soak this up, but with so many of these lanes pushed out, there's not really a good opportunity for them to soak anywhere.
Yeah, that's where A-MEI-ZING was looking to force a fight, is on a pushed-out lane, so good. I know it's tempting to get 20s, but I think that's the right play, and judging by the way DDG's been playing with this game, I'm going to say that they know what they're doing here. So, nice job here. We'll see the ensuing team fight, as I'm sure Hayes goes in already with the Army of the Dead, but takes a couple flame strikes.
We'll see the two-man Howling Blast. Trent trying to back out here. They're trying to give them a little bit of room. We actually see the bunker being popped, and that's a pretty big cooldown. It is only 40 seconds, but still. We also see Army of the Dead pops here. Meanwhile, Drop Dead Gorgeous still has all of their cooldowns. Trent is about half health, but we do end up seeing the charge being canceled by that huge spear. We see Hayes being hit by the Pyroblast. He ends up going down, and we will see the 3-for-0 coming out here for Drop Dead Gorgeous. That will give them the 20s, and they are going to look to pick up the shrine and take control of this game once again.
Wow, DDG is playing on another level right now. They are playing so incredibly patiently for a team that's so far ahead as they've been. I am thoroughly impressed with the plays that have been made. baiting out the two ultimates. Army of the Dead, they saw was popped early in the fight, and they just backed off. Everybody just walked away, no big deal. They saw the bunker go down, they back away. Great patient play.
And now they split up, they grab 2 more of these camps. They've got 3 spear throwers to charge in behind this Frozen Punisher. They've got the camp in mid, they've got catapults in top, and A-MEI-ZING is under all kinds of pressure here as the keep is going to start to fall here soon in the bottom lane.
If they're not careful, one pick will make this a core, so very, very tight defense here by A-MEI-ZING has to come out. We'll have to see. Punisher does jump on, but there's no follow-up as DDG will just go ahead and safely gather the bottom keep. Now that it's aggroed onto some of the minions, DDG looks towards the cores. The shields are already down. Looks like the Pug's taking a little bit of damage along with Trent there on the Sonya. The core's at half health now. A bunch of ultimates just being popped out, but the core is being focused down, and that is game 1 going over to Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Very decisive. Game number 1 coming out for DDG. You can tell that they came out to play tonight and they were ready for what A-MEI-ZING had to offer here in this matchup. And they come out and they get themselves a big first win. This gives them a really cool opportunity in the rest of this matchup because now, should they lose this next matchup, they get the ever important choice in game number 3, whether they want the first pick or first map. So this is really the driver's seat and the control that you want in these 3-game series.
Yeah, just probably the best performance by Drop Dead Gorgeous that I have been able to see. That was a really top tier game right there, and if they continue to play like that, they will punch their ticket to the B West or the Division B finals and take their Division B pennant or B West pennant.
Absolutely. And not only that, but as somebody who's seen quite a few of A-MEI-ZING's games, I gotta say, even in the 2 games that I've seen them lose this season, I've never seen them manhandled like that.
No, that was a true straight up and down just beating. That was so well played, and I believe that is the first time that A-MEI-ZING has lost on their own map pick all season.
Yeah, that's the really impressive part. Drop Dead Gorgeous actually giving up that map pick and allowing A-MEI-ZING to have it. So now the question for A-MEI-ZING is, do you take first pick or do you take map pick and do you allow Drop Dead Gorgeous to go ahead and pick the map that they want to try and close this out as a 2-0? Or, you know, if you're in A-MEI-ZING shoes here, 7th, which one do you choose and why?
I think if I were A-MEI-ZING, I'd go to one of their stronger maps. I would stick with the map choice and go to BOE or to Sky Temple. They've shown real dominance on both those maps, and their other dominant map, Volskaya, has been banned out, so they do not have that home field for them. But I expect them to go to one of those 2 maps. That's been their kind of second go-to as far as the season's concerned.
Yeah, I gotta give a lot of credit there to the Chaos pick. Chaos played very, very well. And we do have the choice in here from A-MEI-ZING. It is going to be the map. They are going to go ahead and take the map pick once again, and they're going to go to Sky Temple here for game number 2, which is another one of those classic macro play maps where you really expect a team like A-MEI-ZING to really shine.
Yep, they started showing their Sky Temple preference against the series against you guys as Divine 9 at the end of the season, and then they took my team, Lurk Patrol, to it as the game 3 of the quarterfinals. So definitely a comfort pick for them, as we'll see what they offer. I wonder if they're going to look for an Illidan comp, because that's they did that twice last series, actually, yeah, at least twice, and did it once against you as well, including I believe it was on this map. It was not.
Yeah, so would not be surprised at all to see that, but we do have both teams quickly filing in to, I'm actually going to go ahead and make you referee. I realize I didn't have either of us as referee last game, so we'll let you ref this one out. You know what you're doing.
All right. I'll be the zebra here.
So we'll just make sure both of these teams are ready to go. And I don't know, you know, like from what we've seen this season, we'll give Drop Dead their point here, but we've seen from A-MEI-ZING this season is a really good macro play style. But that last game, Drop Dead Gorgeous actually played the macro perfectly as well. So I don't know if this pick really favors A-MEI-ZING all that much.
Yeah, they on Shrines, DDG was able to trade 1-for-1 with every macro play, even fall a little bit behind with the top fort loss, but they were winning every fight. And so if you go toe-to-toe in macro and win the fights, you're golden.
All right, so game number 2 is going to be played out here on Sky Temple. Was selected by A-MEI-ZING, so we will see Drop Dead Gorgeous with the first pick, first ban. Who do you like on this map? Who do you prioritize, and who do you want to see banned out here early by these teams?
Well, I've got to see the Alex ban from DDG again. It is the strongest hero that A-MEI-ZING has played this season. And Zedolv, our local stats guy, had put out that, what was it? There was a 76 win rate on Alex Straza in Division B, and a huge part of that is due to A-MEI-ZING. 76. And there she goes. Bye-bye, Alex Straza.
Right now, Drop Dead Gorgeous having the number. Now, do we see the Maiev in response is the question here. A-MEI-ZING, dealt a lot of trouble from Kael'thas that last game, but Maiev, definitely a big factor. The Malfurion surprised us last time. The question is, do we end up seeing maybe the Malfurion picked up here, as we saw in the semifinal, that priority on him, or what do you see here from A-MEI-ZING?
Yeah, I think Maiev will get banned out here. Sonya, another reasonable ban, but they're definitely not going to ban out their own Malfurion this time. I thought that was kind of a strange choice last time. You know who I'd really like to see on this map, Jason?
Azmodan?
You're my man. I want to see an Azmodan. I won't get it. But I want it. I want it, Jason.
I actually like the Sonya ban out. You know, I think that Maiev, I don't know. You know, I would have to look over the stats again, but I don't feel like Maiev was all that much of a factor in that last game. I felt like it was more the Sonya and the Kael'thas that really did it in, and a lot of the Kael'thas was just due to the map. I don't really favor the Kael'thas on Sky Temple nearly as much, but we do see the Malfurion coming out, so Light Nex will be on, I think, a little bit more of a comfort pick, and the ETC also coming out, so heavy CC, good control over the Maiev to be able to try and get her CC'd, locked down, and picked. We'll have to see if the execution is any cleaner this game from A-MEI-ZING.
Yep, ETC and Malfurion much more comfort picks of theirs. I'm a little surprised the Tyrael didn't come out, but their main Tyrael player, was it Nukes for Kids, is not currently in here. We do have Machiavelli, so might not be a comfort pick for one of their remaining 5 people. So we'll have to see. Malfurion has been their go-to for an Illidan comp, though. We'll see if Drop Dead Gorgeous chooses to counterpick it, as Ming and Anubrak are picked up, or just choose to ban it here.
I like the Ming denial here for Drop Dead Gorgeous. I like them denying that from Lasai, one of the strengths of A-MEI-ZING. They also choose to ban out the Genji here if they really want to start target banning down Lasai. They do have this next ban coming up here. I do expect A-MEI-ZING to probably throw out the healer chokehold here. They could deny possibly a Brightwing pick. The global can be very useful here on Sky Temple, and they do tend to play that macro game. So denying globals, maybe a Dahaka ban here. I'll have to see what A-MEI-ZING wants to do, but so far with the ETC and the possible stage dive, I kind of expect them to go with a more passive game here for game number 2 and just try and play out the macro.
Yeah, an Uther ban would tell. Oh, Malthael ended up being the last switch on that ban. That's an interesting one. 2 good soul laners are now down. We'll have to see. I think they're going Dahaka on this. They've shown Dahaka before on Sky Temple, and they've taken out two heroes that do very well in the Soul Lane against Dahaka. So I think that's where they're going next.
Makes a lot of sense. We also have seen the new Malthael with the last rights priority be a very good pairing with the Li Ming to get that first reset. So I think that is a very quality ban here from A-MEI-ZING. I feel like some of the decisions made in the first draft were a little bit questionable for A-MEI-ZING, but I do like the way that they're playing this draft so far.
Yeah, the only thing is Malthael is a hard pickup for DDG because of a solo tank Anubrak.
Right.
And a support. So that's all you would have. It would be a pretty squishy comp and not a great answer to especially say Illidan, which I expect to come out here. Don't expect the Tassadar, even though they do preference it. I don't think we'll see it here as the Tracer was banned as a response to the Malfurion.
Yeah, I really like that ban out. We've seen it paired quite a lot with the Malf, and an A-MEI-ZING does seem like the kind of team that would favor Tracer, though I don't remember seeing it played by them a whole lot this season, but
not once.
So we will see the Hanzo. Yeah, so we will see the Hanzo coming out here. No big surprise. We do see Haze on that hero quite a lot, though Lasai can also play it, so don't quite know exactly what that's going to look like just yet. The Jaina. Interesting. So who's on who here?
That's Lazai on Jaina now.
Okay.
So Lazai will move over to Jaina, and Hanzo was the pickup. Of course, they've shown a preference to Hanzo, a little bit less as of lately since a couple of nerfs have come through, and rightfully so. He's not the destructive powerhouse he once was, but it does set up their last pick to be a Dahaka or an Illidan. So I think they've left that to the last pick so they can effectively respond to whatever DDG brings out here.
And I like that in terms of the big picture for this second draft. It Drop Dead Gorgeous goes with a more team fight focused strategy with not a whole lot of global pressure. A-MEI-ZING can just back off that, grab the Dahaka, and play the macro game. But the team that they've assembled here with Jaina, Hanzo, and a lot of CC from ETC and Malfurion does allow them to be able to go with a more team fight heavy comp. And so we see the Dahaka coming out from Drop Dead Gorgeous. So now we've got, you know, the global for Dahaka, the pseudo global, and ETC. A-MEI-ZING could decide to go with a little bit more team fight heavy comp here to respond to that Dahaka.
Yeah, that was a great pickup by DDG because, as I mentioned a couple times, I was strongly believing that to be their last pick. So I think that's a great kind of ban almost by DDG by picking up Dahaka. It's going to complement their Soul Lane. It's going to work really well, and we'll have to see. I would still give the most odds to Illidan being picked up, but I'm not sold on it. I'm not sold on it right here.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I do like the Illidan for the fact that you can dive back onto the Rhaegar and the Li Ming and pressure, but they actually do end up going with the Tyrael. So some extra sustain, some extra boss control possibly if they want to go into the Holy Ground. Of course, Sky Temple, the boss here, very influential. We've seen more than our fair share of games being thrown by that boss pit in the mid. But very interesting draft. It's, for me, a little bit too close to call here who's going to win this game, too, just off the draft.
Yeah, absolutely. If I were to give the edge, I would give it a little bit to A-MEI-ZING in this draft. They've gone back to a lot of their comfort picks that they've come through this entire season. And I think that's what they want here. I'm a little worried about the execution on the side of Drop Dead Gorgeous, but nonetheless, we'll have to see how the Lily squad executes, especially in the macro department.
Well, I mean, if it's anything like the last game, I'm really not that worried for them. They seem to be focused and on point tonight. And we'll see if they're able to bring that play into Sky Temple or if that Infernal Shrines game was merely a fluke. I kind of doubt it. But we are going to see, we are loading into Sky Temple here for game number 2. A-MEI-ZING looking to win this game and move on to game number 3. It is going to be Machiavelli on the ETC, Lasai on the Jaina. Hayes is going to be on the Hanzo, Lightnex on Malfurion, and Kaizen is going to be on the Tyrael.
And on the right side, one game away from moving to the B finals, we have Drop Dead Gorgeous and Pugs going up on Maiev again. Anubrak played by Gelda, Chaos on Li Ming, Trent on Dahaka, and Unitas moving to Rhaegar.
Alright, so right away we do see A-MEI-ZING already looking at more of a macro focus. They already have Tyrael going up to the top lane to go ahead and get the soak started right away. Drop Dead Gorgeous hanging around in the bushes. Nice scout out there from Lightnex to be able to find members lurking. And we will see both teams looking to go ahead and get in and focus on the wave clear here.
Yeah, it's a pretty standard amazing thing to just send their soul laner out immediately off the start. And he did get what looks to be about a 2 minion XP advantage. So while not huge, it is something. So they like making those little plays, just these small incremental advantages that look to add up over time. But we see the 3-man setup in the top lane, at least for now.
Yeah, Hayes also immediately rotating on the Hanzo to the bot lane, so they get a couple extra minions there as well. But we do end up seeing him rotate back to the mid, and the instant camp rotation. This is the macro play that I see a lot from A-MEI-ZING and that I expect from them is instant camps, instant pressure. But look at the response here. Drop Dead Gorgeous in the bot lane, getting a camp of their own.
Yeah, I think that's a win. A little bit to the side of A-MEI-ZING, though. That Bruiser camp is significantly more powerful, and what they're going to do is they're just going to push with this. And very similar to our game against A-MEI-ZING, they can get a front wall with this unless it is responded to immediately. The siege camp is a little less threatening, and so I think it's going to be a tough defense here.
Pugs will go in, gets the tether on 2. Not quite enough to capitalize off of it, though, as the members of Drop Dead Gorgeous, 4 of them up here to defend this push. I like this response. You mentioned how powerful this camp is, so it needed a big response, and Drop Dead Gorgeous acts quickly to be able to provide that response.
And even more on top of it, Unitas rotated down to the middle lane perfectly in time so that he would not miss a single minion of soak. So really nice job and a flawless defense on the side of DDG, and they're picking up right where they left off last game.
So now we'll see both teams just mirroring on the other end. They're going to go ahead and grab out the camps that they have left. And so that should be an interesting advantage here for A-MEI-ZING, as they do have that siege camp pushing in bot. Machiavelli still soaking down here, but these shrines are popping in both the top and mid. So the question for DDG is, do they want to clear out the camp, or do they want to prioritize this top lane push and the shrines? But they do have the Dahaka to possibly be able to clear down and then brush stock up.
Yep, and he absolutely does have brush stock available, so he'll probably rotate down and then make an issue at top if an engagement shows up. Otherwise, he's just going to soak a whole bunch. Now, ETC is taking the mid, so most of the engagement potential for A-MEI-ZING is not here in this 4-man group, so I don't think they'll be looking to engage, and instead will just take a 1-for-1 trade.
So for now, we do see the trade out coming here. Pretty even on XP for both of these teams. So pretty uneventful early game in general. Both these camps are going to be cleared out. We do see Lasai rotating down here to help pressure a little bit in the bot. Trent is still going to be able to clear this out pretty easily, though. Hayes actually rotating down. The slows are down on him, but he does have the survivability to be able to get out for the moment. And both of these shrines will be completed by either team. No real contest there, and we'll both move on to the level 7s.
Yep, so this next section obviously is going to be very important as it determines which team has level 10 before the next shrine spawns in the bottom lane. So if there are any picks that occur, that'll accelerate one team towards level 10 and might prevent the soak on the other side from reaching level 10. So really important safe XP time for both teams, as siege camps are going to be picked up on the side of DDG.
Yeah, the slightly lower camp timings here are going to allow them to pick that up, where the camp that A-MEI-ZING had picked up not quite ready yet. Gelda actually charging in with the burrow charge. Does get a stun on a couple, but not quite enough follow-up to really be able to capitalize on it for the moment. Right now, Hayes starting to work on this camp, but nice scouting arrow to see the rotation coming in. We'll back off, and both teams playing this very clean here in the first half.
Yeah, nothing, no slip-ups on either side. Good macro. All the camps have been down pretty much the entire time. Nothing too crazy as far as talents go, as far as I see. So, pretty standard start so far, and it looks like both teams will be safely working their way to that level 10.
Kaizen gonna come out a little bit to get the soak there. We'll go ahead and back off as the rotation comes in. We do see the camp started by Lasai up here in the top lane, so that Bruiser is gonna be available pushing. On the other side, still a minute until that Bruiser camp is up, so maybe a little bit of an advantage out of the macro decisions here. But is this gonna get invaded? And he does get in. Gelda is here. Pugs is gonna come in over the wall with that shadow. And we do end up seeing the fight on the point. Lasai getting low, gonna have to back off here. The drag is good to be able to pick up the Tyrael. The explosion, not gonna be able to get any work done. And Drop Dead Gorgeous making a huge play with that camp steal. And now they're gonna be able to win the race to 10. They have to hawk it down in the bot lane. Lightneck's getting caught out as well. Machiavelli with the face melt to peel. And Ace, Drop Dead Gorgeous. What has gotten into these guys tonight?
Well, they did tell me ahead of time that they were looking to make aggressive invades on the camp timings of A-MEI-ZING, because A-MEI-ZING, ironically, is so consistent at when they pick up the camps right on cooldown every single time. They also become predictable in that aspect, and so they just took 4 or 5 members of DDG and just marched right into the camp, knowing that A-MEI-ZING was going to use that macro time. Really great job there to exploit that timing.
We do have level 10s coming in. We'll look at these on both sides. For A-MEI-ZING, it is going to be the Twilight Dream with the Dragon's Arrow, Sanctification, Ring of Frost, and the Stage Dive, I should say. And for the side of Drop Dead Gorgeous, they're going to have the Ancestral Healing with the Isolation, Disintegrate, Web Wrap, and, well, Maiev hasn't selected yet, so Hugs Not Drugs. Maybe thinking about the Crystal instead of the Cage?
I think that would have been a response to maybe Mosh Pit, because Leeming did go Disintegrate, not Wave of Force. So I don't think we'll see it. I think we'll just be seeing the standard Warden's Cage, but it's interesting that he's holding it for this long. Wonder what. I haven't played any Maiev, so I'm interested in the decisioning behind it.
I mean, bottom line, I suppose, is until you're going to use it, you don't really need to select it, so maybe just trying to perplex the side of A-MEI-ZING a little bit here.
Mind games are good games, I figure, as the bottom fort goes down, and it looks like DDG is up about 3/4 of a level, closing in on that level 13. Middle fort, as a minion response, gets picked up for A-MEI-ZING.
We do have Machiavelli in the top lane, taking over the duties of the solo laner, with that Mosh Pit available to be, or a Stage Dive, I should say, being able to come in anytime. I know, it's just, I'm so used to Mosh Pit, what can I say? But
yeah.
We do see the camp pushing in bot will be responded here by A-MEI-ZING. And for now, again, you know, Drop Dead Gorgeous just playing passive until they get these 13s.
Yep, here come the shrines spawning now in the bottom and the middle. I would not be surprised as DDG has done to just split these 1-for-1 passively. They've got a fairly well scaling team. It's not the best I've ever seen, but I believe it scales a little bit better than A-MEI-ZING. So we'll have to see if they want to push this closer to the late game or what, as it looks like a boss is kind of being looked at, since the bottom temple does control that a lot of the time.
A-MEI-ZING sharking around, trying to find somebody. They will find the Hanzo. Hayes in a ton of trouble, and he's going to end up going down the stage dive by Machiavelli, not in time to be able to peel, and that's going to be a big pick. And you mentioned it, the boss being looked at once again. They are sharking around it. They're not going to go for it. We see Trent capping a little bit of that mid-shrine, and now they will go in on it.
We'll have to see. Hanzo is going to be able to shoot a Dragon's Arrow from spawn and get a full 2-second stun on whoever hits. Big 4-man's Warden Cage out, but an incredible Twilight Dream by Lightnix destroys 3 players. Chaos and Pugs having to run. Gelda getting taken out. Team fight going well so far for A-MEI-ZING, even though it's only been 4v5 this entire time. There goes Rhaegar. And it could be a boss takeover.
We mentioned the throw pit here as a very aggressive boss attempt comes in. We do see Pugs trying to pull off Machiavelli, but it's not going to end up working. That's going to be a 4-for-1 exchange here as A-MEI-ZING finding the team fight they need, and they are going after Chaos as well. Chaos will make it to the bottom side of that fort and be just fine, but that's a 4-for-1 exchange and the boss steal with both of these temples up. This is the opportunity A-MEI-ZING has been looking for all series.
Yeah, a little bit of hesitation and a little risky of a play from DDG. It didn't quite work out for them. They're not too far behind, though, only about half a level. But that Dragon's Arrow from spawn and the huge Twilight Dream from Lightnix really changed that fight. They had, I believe A-MEI-ZING was stuck 4 in the Warden cell, but Lightnix made it work.
Meanwhile, we do see Lasai getting caught out a little bit here. He's going to go down. The stage dive comes in from Machiavelli. They're going to look to try to focus him with that Disintegrate. And meanwhile, the Web Wrap also coming down onto Hayes. So Drop Dead Gorgeous coming back with vengeance here, as they're going to be able to pick off 2. And now they'll look to finish off and pick up the bottom shrine, I should say.
Yeah, and the bottom temple wasn't picked up at all either. So they've got, DPG actually has a full temple available to them here in the bottom, and that's going to even out the objective in terms of value for each side. Boss just got through the bottom fort, and that was it. Did no damage to the, really no damage to the keep wall. So this everything other than the picks aside, that really didn't end too badly for DDG.
Yeah, a little bit of HP catch-up really is all that is going to get them. They are finishing off this shrine. We're going to see Gelda being able to burrow charge out if needed, but we do end up seeing A-MEI-ZING not really wanting to charge in after it without 16. Pretty smart macro play here once again from them, as both camps in the bottom lane going to be tried to be cleaned up here by both teams. But now level 16 in for both teams, and we'll have to see what these teams want to try to go after here.
Yeah, I want to point out as well, Jaina's Ice Block quest, not done yet. Prog Rock, not done yet. Target Practice, not done yet. And all of those except Prog Rock are a reasonable distance away. Meanwhile, Enhanced Agility is almost complete, and the Regeneration Master to make Anub'arak a little bit tankier is going to be complete in just 3 more region globes. So quests, again, a little bit in the side of DDG.
Yeah, a lot of it, I think, is coming down to these picks. You know, you take a look at, Lasai and Hayes that have had a hard time over on the side of A-MEI-ZING staying alive in these team fights. A lot of their quest completion depends on either not having that reset for the Hanzo or getting a lot of team fight damage out from the Jaina. So just haven't really been enabled so far in this game to be able to complete those.
Yeah, and that's a part of DDG's playstyle. They've been so non-confrontational almost, not necessarily that, but they just have been patient and only taken a very select few fights. Jaina's got a huge amount of hero damage, most in the game, or right next to, but it's just not that much, only 17,000, 13 minutes in. Here comes the engage, though, and a good cleanse is going to cover the disengage unless that Numbing Blast hits from Jaina.
We will see the Web Wrap coming out. The Ancestral from Unitas, though, a little bit too late. Sanctification being popped, though, in return. So they end up popping the Dragon's Arrow along with the Twilight Dream and Sanctification just to get the Anub'arak. I don't know if that's worth.
I'm gonna call it worth. That is a huge majority of the engage potential and the stuns and the fight control that's necessary for DDG. So I think that even though it was 3 ults used, I think that's worth, because as you can see, 1 temple, there's no way DDG can engage onto this.
Makes a lot of sense here. 8 seconds until Anubarak is up. Already halfway done with this shrine, and they are going to look to finish it off here. Meanwhile, Drop Dead Gorgeous has lost their level lead at this point with the extra structure damage and that pick from Anubarak. So now both teams looking to 20, but it should be picked up a little bit faster here by A-MEI-ZING.
Yeah, it's very close, and it will come down to who has more pushed out waves or who decides to get aggressive in the picks as opposed to the soak. So we'll have to see. Siege camps are now back up. Bruiser camps have about a minute and a half each, with DDGs coming up a little bit sooner. And importantly, the throw pit is back up, Jason.
We do see Gelda charging in here. You talked about these aggressive invades. Dragon's Arrow comes in to get a huge stun. This time, once again, actually, the Ancestral Healing not quite in time. I thought for sure Unitas had gotten that off onto the Maya, but the damage coming in just in time, and this is going to end up being a disastrous engage for Drop Dead Gorgeous. They're not able to get the heals out, and they do end up picking up the Hanzo, but it's going to be a 1-for-4 exchange once again, and this time A-MEI-ZING is going to be able to get a free boss off of it. Wait a minute.
Yeah, A-MEI-ZING's shown a lot more teamfight resilience this game, and I think it comes down to Lasai being on Jaina with the ring blow up, and Lightnex on the Malfurion. I think those two are really making these fights happen. They're causing instantaneous disengages because the heroes of DDG are getting absolutely obliterated. I like the call, but it just didn't end up working out as everybody got funneled into the ring. The ring was huge as a 3-man. So really good team fights coming out of A-MEI-ZING this game.
Well, level 20s are going to be picked up here for A-MEI-ZING. They have the boss and now 2 siege camps to back it up here as they get started on working on this bottom wall. And also the bottom shrine is up after this. So I don't think they'll have trouble getting the keep here, but even if they did, they'd be able to just step back. Dragon's Arrow coming in from across the map is going to just barely miss Pugs Not Drugs. They're actually able to vault to dodge it. The slide comes in though, cleanse onto Gelda, but the Ancestral once again not quite able to find its mark. The target focus just too strong for A-MEI-ZING as they go in to look at the core. Warden's Cage is going to come out as they try the counter engage. They do get the Malfurion. The resets are in here for Chaos as Jaina goes down. They are looking to clear out the boss, and it looks like Drop Dead Gorgeous has mounted a defense here for the core, but they do still have to clean up the last 2 members. Kaizen is hitting, actually 3 members. Hayes is still here as well. Kaizen getting a little bit low, but he's eating the shots here as the minions start to come in. All the while, these rock throwers in the back, the siege camp, and that is going to be it. Game number 2, A-MEI-ZING. Going to take us to a game 3.
Yeah, that was almost like dangerously close to the exact opposite scenario of how A-MEI-ZING won the game 3 against us, Lurk Patrol. There was a half-health boss and 4 siege giants, but this time the kills went in the aggressor's favor, and the people that were left were either out of mana on the side of Chaos or couldn't do any damage on the side of Trent. So good finish there. Great team fights, especially once that Ring of Frost came out, and we have a game 3 on our hands.
Looking back on that matchup, by the way, for Pugs Not Drugs, right away knowing exactly what they want. They want the first pick, so they're going to be keeping with the strategy of letting A-MEI-ZING have whatever map they want. But looking back on those team fights, we saw 0-3 on the Ancestrals. Is that poor timing from Unitas, or is that just amazing target focus from A-MEI-ZING?
Oh, you had to go there. You had to go there, Jason.
It wasn't even on purpose. I gotta be honest with you.
I could tell. You're like, amazing target practice, and in your head you're like, oh no, I've done it. So I think the one onto Anubarak in the middle, I think at the level 18 mark before the center temple. That was a poor timed ancestral. There was plenty of time to get it off, and I don't think he was expecting A-MEI-ZING to continue the pursuit. At the siege camp, I thought he had it too, dude. I saw everything happening. It looked in time, but the blow up from Lightnex and Lazai again just ended up being way too much, and it went down by probably this tiny margin of health and milliseconds off the ancestral, but it comes down to that sometimes.
So now we look at the maps that are left here. Towers of Doom, Tomb of the Spider Queen, Dragonshire, Cursed Hollow, and Battlefield. Before we get the pick in here, where do you think A-MEI-ZING takes us here for game number 3?
I think they're going to BOE. I think they'll go to BOE. They have had extremely strong performances on that map. They've gone to it several times, and interestingly, in their week 1 matchup against Drop Dead Gorgeous, they went to BOE as well and won. So they went to Tomb and BOE way back on week 1. So I think we'll see a BOE rematch.
I wouldn't be surprised if they select Towers, but who knows, really? You know, it's at this point, it's up to them. They've still got a lot of really quality maps on their side that I know that they could play well. The only one I don't really expect them to pick up here is probably Cursed Hollow. I haven't seen them play a whole lot on that map on this season. Dragonshire is another one of those that's very macro heavy that I think they could be pretty quality at. But what do you think of this strategy from Drop Dead Gorgeous of just prioritizing the first pick and not really caring what map they go to?
I think it works out for them. I think that's DDG saying the map pool is thinning and we're comfortable with what's left. And so we would rather make sure we secure down the first ban Alex, the first pick Maiev, force the Sonya Maiev pick. And I think that's the most important, what they have deemed to be the most important part of their game plan right now. So not too much of a surprise there.
By the way, what a call. It is going to be Battlefield of Eternity for game number 3.
I'm nailing it.
Well played, sir.
The only one I wouldn't have called was Infernal Shrines, but I didn't have a chance at that one.
Oh,
Nukes for Kids.
Wait a minute here.
Here we go.
We see somebody new in the lobby this time. So.
Hello there.
So that's probably what took them a couple seconds to decide that there. Was deciding who was going to even play in this one.
Yep. Nukes for Kids is their Tyrael specialist, and although I take nothing from Kazin for the Tyrael play that game, because it was very solid in the solo lane and in the fights, Nukes for Kids has been a specialist on Tyrael for them all season, and I think that frees up Kazin to play another tank he's comfortable on, and it's going to be a good swap out here.
Yet another game 3 coming in here. I've been lucky this season so far with quite a lot of these best of 3 series, and I think NGS in general we've seen. I would have to check the stats, but I feel like we've seen more series go to game 3 than just the 2-0s.
Well, you start up the game, and I will go ahead and check up on those stats because I know where to find them. And you should find them, too, at nexusgamingseries.com and head over to our tournament page where we have all of the results.
Well played. All right, just wanted to answer a quick question there. A-MEI-ZING checking in to make sure that they are allowed to sub, which they are, so that's fine. Okay. And here we go. Get hyped. Game number 3 coming out here. It is Battlefield of Eternity. A-MEI-ZING with their 3rd and final map pick of the night. Win or lose, and they're going to do it on one of the heaviest team fight oriented maps is, you know, I find this to be an interesting decision against Drop Dead Gorgeous, who has seemed pretty strong in the team fight game all season. They have a long-standing roster, and you can tell that they're very good at communicating and coordinating. A-MEI-ZING doing pretty well in the team fights last game, but that was with a comp from Drop Dead Gorgeous that seemed a little bit more macro heavy with, you know, the global and not quite as much team fight orientation.
Yeah, I tend to agree. However, the small pieces of macro that are on this map are so critical and were executed extremely well, as far as I've seen, by A-MEI-ZING, that I'm not really surprised that they would go here. And to check up on your stat, we have Alexstrasza and Tyrell insta-locked by the side of A-MEI-ZING. Their greater power has been unleashed.
Yeah, I was about to say, I mean, first of all, this draft is going by incredibly quickly, but the Maiev ban from DDG saying no thank you to that. The Sonya in a response, so A-MEI-ZING responding to the strength of Sonya here. I believe we're only day 2 after the rework and how strong it was in game 1, but that opened up the Alexstrasza to be able to be taken. Drop Dead Gorgeous maybe making a little bit of a misstep here, stealing the Malfurion from DDG, but forgetting how good Lightnex is on that Alexstrasza.
They're going to make a risk that says what we're going to do with the Malfurion, which very well could be Tracer, is going to beat out what you can do with Alexstrasza, and that is a just mind-boggling gamble to me at this point. Lightnex's Alexstrasza, and I say this in full respect, is absolutely ridiculously good. There is, like, it has been the carry, it has been some of the most impressive Alexstrasza play that I've seen, and has won many a team fight, especially post-10, and right now this draft could not be going better for A-MEI-ZING.
Yeah, so we do see the Li Ming coming out. I think that in a lot of ways is slightly countered by the Tyrael, his ability to give the extra shields and a little bit extra health to be able to try to get A-MEI-ZING through these team fights without dropping that first hero and giving over the reset. ETC picked up here early as well by Drop Dead Gorgeous, a Gelda favorite for sure, and you know, really a favorite of most tanks. You know, which tank doesn't play ETC nowadays? But I do like the Malfurion and ETC with the Li Ming combo. A lot of CC to be able to set up the combo damage for Li Ming and try to get that first reset. But once again, the Malthael being banned out here, not wanting to see that last rites paired with the Li Ming.
Yep, a reasonable pick. By the way, when we were looking at DDG, we noticed Gelda was their guaranteed tank player, but he is a level 92 ETC with 777 games, not including the customs. He is a huge ETC fan, and the fact that that's gone through is going to be a very nice thing for DDG to see. So the teams are getting a lot more of what they want instead of trying to deny the other team, the opposing team. So very different tone of draft coming out in Game 3.
So what you're saying is, by saying it was a Gelda favorite, I understated it a little bit. But we do it.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll tell you what. For me, if I'm in Game 3 and my tournament life's on the line, I want to be playing what I'm comfortable with. And we do end up seeing, once again, the Jaina coming out here, along with the Artanis. A little bit of a change up here, but a very map-specific curveball coming in from A-MEI-ZING.
Well, I'm going to throw a curveball right at you. Artanis is just a comfort pick for A-MEI-ZING. They pulled it out several times and has caused a huge amount of problems. They pulled it out against us on Volskaya and on Sky Temple. They just like Artanis. Seems to work with him, and he plays it really well. It's actually terrifying. I'm worried for DDG here, and I think A-MEI-ZING is literally getting their money draft that they've wanted for this entire series.
And that does not spell good things if you're Drop Dead Gorgeous. What can they respond here is the question. They've already got their main tank. They need their solo lane, and they will need probably a melee assassin if I had to guess what DDG wants to go for. They do get the Blaze. They're actually going to pair it with the Tracers, so that constant sustained damage, the ability to quickly dive in, be able to get to these low mobility backliners with the Alex Straza and the Jaina. But the Jaina burst damage can spell trouble for Tracer if even just one CC comes out. But where's the CC for A-MEI-ZING?
Yeah, I like the Tracer pickup a lot here. We were actually, as a team, planning to go Tracer at some point, but the game never came up. So I'm really interested to see how it's going to work against the no CC comp that's being shown by A-MEI-ZING. I think their last pick, judging by history, oh gosh, I don't even know. Could be a Genji. That would be pretty strong.
Do you try and counter the Tracer here, going something unorthodox, like possibly a Varian? Like, now you're gonna go with Tychus. Very interesting. So we have seen them break out the Tychus a few times this season. The Odin, very powerful right now in the meta. Also good burn for the Immortal. Not great burn, but good consistent damage onto it to pair with that spike upfront damage from Jaina. And of course, Artanis, one of the best shredders in the game. So both these teams, very interesting drafts. Like you had said, A-MEI-ZING, very strong early. But I feel like Drop Dead Gorgeous with that Tracer at the end to pair with the Malfurion, this was not a draft loss for them.
It's not a draft loss, but I believe they have the higher execution comp at this point, specifically because they're running the defense comp. They've got ETC, Blaze, Ming, Tracer. They're all poke heroes or engage heroes. They don't have any race. So if things go wrong for them and they lose a fight, it's going to be catastrophic. Whereas, as we actually won a majority of team fights on this map against A-MEI-ZING, but we lost every single Immortal just because of the immense burn. So we'll have to see what DDG does.
All right, well, we are loading in here for game number 3, A-MEI-ZING versus Drop Dead Gorgeous. Winner goes on to the B Division Finals. Loser will go home, making it this far into the playoffs, but not able to make that trip to Sunday. A-MEI-ZING on the left. It is going to be Lasai on the Tychus. Nukes for Kids stepping in here on his signature Tyrael. Lightnex is going to be on the Alex Straza. Hayes is going to be on the Jaina. And we're going to see Kazin on the Artanis.
Interesting little switch up there. And on the right side, in the red, we have DDG trying to stop the reverse sweep for 2 weeks in a row. Pugs Not Drugs moving to Tracer. Gelda on ETC. Li Ming being played by Chaos. Trent on Blaze. And Unitas on Malfurion.
Very interesting, especially with Lasai doing so well on the Jaina last game. Gonna switch over to the Tychus here. Could that possibly be well, actually, Gelda sliding in here. A little bit dangerous zone here with all that damage. The burst damage from both the Tychus onto those big, healthy targets and the burst damage from Jaina. That's going to be a quick first blood as Pugs dashes in and it's going to port back out. It's, like I was saying, possibly a comfort pick for Hayes here, or maybe just not feeling as powerful on the Tychus, so Lasai breaking that out. What do you think here?
Yeah, I think that's Lasai being the one with the hero pool for Tychus, and not necessarily that he's opting off of it. I think Lasai is the only one that plays Tychus here, and Hayes is a strong enough Jaina, not as strong as Lasai, or I'll say put him on it, but better to work it this way.
Yeah, better overall, seems like, was the decision here. Or who knows, maybe it was a misclick, you know, you never know.
Ooh, possible pick in the top lane as Trent gets very low to Kazin. He goes out for the dash and gets the kill. Good pick up there for A-MEI-ZING, and already a big advantage coming out.
Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, the camp is started to slide in onto Nukes for Kids. Gelda being caught out here. Pugs Not Drugs going in very deep. Does end up picking up the kill, but has he gone too far? The counter kill grabbed here by Hayes on that Jaina. Lightnex also popping a very early Dragon Queen. They are going to be able to secure themselves the camp and get themselves the 1-for-1 exchange.
Yep, and that's just gonna move Amazing closer to those level 10s. We see the Live and Let Live taken and the Exuberance taken, so we do see that solo Q build picked up for Alexstrasza, and we'll have to see as the first Immortal phase starts rolling out here in just a couple seconds.
You see the aggression here. Oh, but Lasai gets in with the charge and the grenade to finish it off. And who needs CC when you got the power of Lasai here on Tychus?
You got the power grenades. That's an important part there.
By the way, whoa, you're already talking about level 10s. Let's have our level 7 dinner first here, Ace. My goodness, you're way ahead of the game.
Well, I mean, I'm waiting because Lightnex on the Alexstrasza and Cleansing Flame has won them every that I've watched this entire season, and so I'm both excited to see the Alexstrasza being played again because of how much she's been banned, but also just how, if they stop them, how do they do it? It's so exciting.
Coming in from Gelda once again. They try to get the NGH. Pulse Bomb coming down onto Kazan. He's a little bit low. Gets some of the healing from Lightnex, but they are chunking down this Immortal. We do see the chase here, and you mentioned the defense being good here, but they leave Lasai alone to be able to get quite a lot of damage onto this Immortal in the backside. But for now, they do have the Blaze soaking in the bot lane. They do set up the perimeter, and it looks like the defense should be here for Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Yeah, and this is what Amazing does so well on this map, is they'll poke the Immortal with their Artanis race, and their Jaina race, and their Tychus, and even if they disengage or lose a hero or two, they're going to win the Immortal. And so despite there being a really solid defense there by DDG, it's not going to be enough, and the first Immortal is going over to the side of Amazing as they get engaged Shorn in the middle very hard.
And we do end up seeing Drop Dead Gorgeous come in and pick up a couple of very strong picks there as the side of Amazing maybe getting a little bit greedy, a little bit low on health and mana. Wanted to get those globes, but nice capitalization, nice punish from Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Yeah, that was a great time to move in because I did not expect it, and obviously Amazing did not expect it either. Their usual play is to go grab that Bruiser camp. I did not check if it was up or not, but they just kind of idly wandered towards the middle, and two people lost their lives immediately for it, so that was a great job there. A good 3-man stun from Blaze and a 4-man power slide, I believe, from ETC.
Well, and you mentioned about it being unexpected. You know, the audience will know as well that it was unexpected because their silly observer actually took a quick peek up at the camp just to realize that the fight was breaking out in mid. But we do end up seeing the camp being picked up here in bottom. Amazing quickly rotating to the bot lane to pick this up, and actually the charge is coming in here. It looks like right now they are going to look to engage once again, but Gelda getting just chunked. And they are going to have to spawn the retreat here over on the side of DDG.
Gelda getting chunked has been the story of this game so far. Gelda's taken aggressive positioning and used slide more as a disengage tool so far this game. So he's looking to create space for his Li Ming and his Tracer, and then bailing out at the end. And we'll have to see if he gets punished for it, because he slid in there and he loses his life.
Yeah, Gelda being a little bit overly aggressive, a little bit impatient, wanting to force these engages, but the problem is the problem with ETC is his engage tool is also his disengage tool, so they're not using that mechanic very well. We also see Tugs coming in, getting the pulse bomb down, but it's easily healed up here by Lightnex. A lot of chunk damage on to Haze, but for now it looks like they clean up the bottom front wall here, and they're going to look to just get out and go take advantage elsewhere.
I want to mention how good Justice for All is on number 1. That absorbs 75% of the Pulse Bomb damage. Pulse Bomb does 644 right now. Shields for almost 500. Ridiculous amount, as now the aggression comes from Amazing onto the camp of Drop Dead Gorgeous, and it'll be taken by Amazing. So now the invade's working in their favor.
We will see Kazan trying to get something going here with that charge in. The response is here, and they are able to blow up the Artanis. Resets are now in for Chaos. A little bit low on mana, but a lot of members of DDG getting chunked out as Lightnex pops that Dragon Queen. Nukes for Kids in a little bit of pressure as well. Pugs Not Drugs going to go ahead and rewind out. And for now, camp is stolen. Level 10 still on the way. But Drop Dead Gorgeous able to get a little bit of defense in there with that pick.
Yep, but importantly, actually their main race hero did die, so this is falling in the favor of EDG. They're about equal. Call it even and more of a... Oh, here comes the engage. People caught Hearthing on the side of A-MEI-ZING. Hayes is taking a ton of damage, and he's out of mana too. Gelda, however, is going to pay for it with his life again. Nukes for Kids low on health and mana as well, but it doesn't seem to matter. Looks like just Gelda going down here.
Yeah, nice turn by A-MEI-ZING. They see the engage. They can't really avoid it, so instead they turn around and make it a favorable engage for themselves. The race is on. Both of these Immortals getting chunked down. And whose is going to fall first? It's close. 728 in favor of A-MEI-ZING.
Give the power of Artanis, and guess what? Level 10s, not the heroics, the scaling mattered there. That's actually ridiculous. Ridiculously close. I didn't see if Suppression Pulse was not used on that, so Artanis did not snap pick that to try and get that Immortal.
We will see the Immortal pushing in the top lane here. This top fort is pretty much forfeit. Looks like Chaos is still going to try and get the poke out at least, and the members are in a little bit far here, but I'll have to see if Kazan wants to try to go after a swap. Nice route on the back end to be able to zone him out. They'll fall back to the keep for the moment.
Alright, we'll have to see the defense. Because there were no shields, defense will be relatively easy on this keep wall. Gelda slides in deep. Lasai is caught out, gets hit by one of those extremely powerful pulse bombs. Here comes the Alexstrasza, though, keeping Lasai alive. Gelda now very low, but channeling Mosh Pit. He gets taken out once it ends, and just enough sustain again on the side of A-MEI-ZING. That Cleansing Flame does work as Chaos goes down.
The Cleansing Flame and the amount of healing from Lightnex is huge, but also you mentioned it, Nukes for Kids and that level 1 upgrade, enough to keep them alive. Altogether, it's going to equal the keep front wall. They'll look to also get some keep damage. Swap onto Unitas, though, right as the Dragon Queen is popped, and that's going to be a ton of damage, and another pick going over to A-MEI-ZING, and this thing is starting to snowball, Ace.
Yeah, this is exactly the fear and what A-MEI-ZING has done every single game this season. Tyrell does get taken out, Nukes for Kids taken out, so a consolation prize. Kazan's going to go down too to that pulse bomb. Nice pickup by Pugs Not Drugs. Engage actually falling on, and hold on a second, Jason. That's 3 counter kills over. Pugs is going to get taken out by the Water Elemental.
Water Elemental OP, ladies and gentlemen. Even from the grave, we do see the response there. And maybe that's the counter to Tracer. A little bit of slows, a little bit of extra damage. But that's a big pushback here. That's going to give Drop Dead Gorgeous a little bit of breathing room here. They don't have the 13s, though. They won't have it in time for this Immortal. This game's still definitely favoring A-MEI-ZING.
Yeah, it is.
What is going
take
on
one
with these?
moment to look at those dogs that are running their faces into a wall. Pug's going to go ahead and clean that up, get a little bit of ult charge. I haven't seen that before, and I just thought that's a funny moment that we get to see. They've been there for like 2-3 minutes now. They've been so lost.
Somebody let those poor dogs into the house. Come on, man.
Alrighty, well, 13's picked up on the side of A-MEI-ZING now, and they're going to aggress onto this Immortal, poking it down by Artanis going for that triple strike to increase his burst damage. Gelda gets a 3-man mosh pit, but that's immediately interrupted by the grenade of Lazai, and Gelda gets taken down. Unitas gets swapped in. Cleansing Flame goes out to keep the entire team alive. This is going to be a team fight, and what could be a full health Immortal onto this bottom lane.
Huge team fight win there for A-MEI-ZING, as we do see them once again finding the team fight they wanted, up those 13 talent tiers. A very aggressive and maybe a little overly aggressive engage there by DDG, but the MVP of that team fight is definitely Lasai. You mentioned it, that grenade was huge. The Mosh was a 3-man, and Lasai with the discipline to stay out and keep the good positioning to avoid the mosh pit, and then the grenade to instantly interrupt it after it came out there.
This is a very different DDG we've seen from the previous 2 games. Another engage comes up on even talent tier time. However, the ultimates are not up in terms of Mosh Pit. No kills yet, but Trent very low. Nukes for Kid's going to take a huge pulse bomb. There goes Trent. Gelda at 1 shot. He's in trouble. Unitas going to ice block, but he's going to be taken out. Another 3 kills to A-MEI-ZING. 15-7 in the kill counter. And this Immortal could be the nail in the coffin, as it is full health, full shields, moving right onto the keep.
DDG trying their best to come back in this one. I think they feel this game slowly slipping away. Desperation mode coming in as they're trying to get these engages, trying to force the side of A-MEI-ZING to slip up here, but they have been playing these team fights perfectly so far this game.
Yep, this is what happens when A-MEI-ZING gets on their comfort picks. They are nigh unstoppable. Given just a couple trades, Trent gonna get rooted by the level 16s now taken. That'll force out the bunker. Mosh Pit goes out, gets 2. But again, Gelda's just taking damage from that Odin. He's going to get taken out. Trent going down. Cleansing Flame coming out. We've heard this one before. 3 members going down on the side of DDG. Full health. Immortal going onto the core, and I don't see anything that can stop this.
Core is falling, and that is going to be it. Game number 3 and the series going over to A-MEI-ZING. The reverse sweep is real, and they will be going on to face Order of the Sleeping Dragon in the B Division Finals on Sunday.
Wow. Once again, A-MEI-ZING loses the first game in a pretty convincing style and comes back and wins 2 games in a row, gets the reverse sweep, and we'll have to see what Order of the Sleeping Dragon can do against A-MEI-ZING, as we'll see that matchup Sunday at 3 p.m. Pacific. Don't forget, because your clocks are changing for daylight savings time, or we're going to have some people staggering in at very strange times.
All right, let's go ahead and reach out to the team captain for A-MEI-ZING. See if Lightnext can get in here and give us a little bit of an interview before we log on out tonight. I'm going to hop up into lobby 1 here, 7th, if you'd like to join me.
I will absolutely join you.
Right. And yeah, I'll tell you what, Order of the Sleeping Dragon, a very strong team in their own right. I know B East, definitely cheering them on as well. We are joined by team captain Lightnext. Congratulations, sir. How are you guys feeling after that big win tonight?
We're very happy about it. We're going to the NGS championships for Div B now, right?
Yeah, that is going to be your division pennant for sure. Congratulations, man. You guys played well all season. You guys dominated this series. And looking ahead, though, you guys are going to be able to face the Division B East champions, Order of the Sleeping Dragon. How much scouting have you guys done against them, and what are you guys anticipating on Sunday?
We haven't really watched much of E or much of other games in NGS actually, but I don't really know how to do, so it'd be kind of a surprise for us, I guess you could say.
All right, so we were talking a little bit about that game number 1. Drop Dead Gorgeous comes out and has a very good performance. We saw a very interesting ban for you guys that I wanted to ask about. You guys took out the Malfurion after the Alexstrasza had come out, allowing the Maiev to go through. What was your guys' thought process going into that game number 1?
The idea was you wanted, since they banned Alex, we banned Malf, so then they can't first pick Malf, so they had to first pick either Blaze or another character. We kind of forgot that Maiev was a thing, but in Dorm, at least, from what I've learned, Maiev isn't that strong, but we just didn't play it correctly into her, and she definitely got us.
All right, and then you guys come out with this second draft. The other draft choice I wanted to ask you guys about was we saw you with a very strong performance from Lasai on the Jaina in the second game. You guys decided to swap out and have Haze on it and Lasai on the Tychus. Worked out really well for you guys. What was your guys' decision making on that?
We definitely wanted Jaina or Gul'dan, one of the two strong mages in the game, but some of our players can't play Gul'dan as well as Jaina, so we definitely went with the Jaina, and then we saw that they had a strong front line, so we were like, we wanted Tychus, and so we just swapped the players around because certain players can't play certain characters is all. But definitely Jaina Tychus was what we wanted.
All right, well, 7th, I'm going to hand it over to you, and do you have any questions here for Lightnex?
Lightnex, what will it take to win a game 1 and not reverse sweep everybody? So far, exactly been. It's been a rough game 1, and then you guys just show up and just walk over for the next couple games. What do you think you can do to not fall behind in that game 1 against the upcoming series?
Maybe some of that scouting you guys were talking about, but I like my surprises, and game 1s where we get to play 3 games is usually funner than playing 2 games in my opinion, so I'm not too worried about it.
There you go, keeping that suspense factor up.
Well, that's all I've got. Jason, you have any more questions for?
I don't think so. I want to say congratulations once again. You guys have had an amazing season and have definitely earned your trip to the finals on Sunday. I hope you guys enjoy it and represent the B West division as well as you can. Do you have any shout outs you guys want to make?
Shout out to Nukes and Mackie for both playing 1 game each. I know, or 1 or 2 games each. I know it may be tough that you might get subbed in or out, but we just need players who do what can play certain champs is really it. Shout out to Colin, who is Lasai's cousins. Shout out to anyone who's watching, really, because I hope you guys enjoy your games. I definitely did. So, yeah, shout out to Dorm, too. UCI is going to win Dorm. We'll just watch that.
All right, well, thanks again for the games. Congratulations, and good luck on Sunday.
Thank you. All right.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you very much for staying up late once again for one of these late night casts. Please do remember to check out the finals on Sunday. They're going to be coming at you. Sunday at 12 noon is going to start with the C Division finals. B is going to be played at 3 p.m. PST. And then 6 p.m. we'll have the A Division finals. That is the plan. And we're going to have a lot of cool casting, a lot of cool features on Sunday as well, including a preview for each matchup coming out this week as these matchups are set. I believe this is the first one that's been set now, as we know what B Division's going to be. But we'll see the rest of those come together, and I'll be putting together those NGS breakdowns to have those previews so you guys can see who's facing who and what we can expect with the odds and all that good stuff. So 7th, thank you very much for joining me, man. It was fun casting with you as always. Where can we find you? Tell us your whole life story.
Well, I was born in a log cabin
There
away from society. You can find me, once we made it out of the log cabin, we made it into the world of the internet. You can find me at twitch.tv/7thace, but not on Sunday, because Sunday we will be at twitch.tv/Nexus Gaming Series. Jason, I'm expecting to see you there and casting what's likely to be the Division B finals. So
Yes.
Looking forward to it. Make sure, again, that is 3 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. We do get that time change on Sunday. Don't want to miss the start of it.
All right, guys. Well, thank you all for watching. Thanks for coming out, and congratulations to both of our teams. Drop Dead Gorgeous having an amazing season, making it all the way to the semis. Amazing. Going to be playing on Sunday. We'll be looking forward to seeing how these guys perform against Order of the Sleeping Dragon. And until next time, I'm Jason. He's 7th Ace. And for NGS, we'll see you guys later. Have a good night.